you for taking time out of your day to have a chat. Obviously, we're here to talk about Blood for Dust, which is arriving very soon in America. What was it about the script and the character of Cliff that made you kind of want to get involved with this one?
I think it was sort of a, it was a really well written script, an interesting story, but also sort of a everyday man, sort of coming upon tough times. Um, I felt like it was really relevant to like now, then and now, just what desperate measures one would go to support their family, and how far that they would go into that, I thought was, and also the background, the setting, the location, and Rod Blackhurst, the filmmaker, was a huge draw for me. I had, wanted to work with him in the past, and so we had this project, but it took us about 3 or 4 years to get it off the ground. He had made a film, the Amanda Knox documentary, really well done, and yeah, just the whole team, the whole group of people. It was just a really great group, really great story, and just wanted to dive headfirst into it.
His film here alone as well, his debut feature is incredible as well. That's like if you're gonna start with a film that is his first that's really incredible.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's been working and directing for a really long time, and I think he's got a trove of screenplays that he wants to make. I think I talked to him the other day. He's off shooting another movie now, but yeah, incredibly talented guy, and just also lovely to work with and lovely to be around. So I was really glad that we were able to get it off the ground and to work on the film.
I think like sort of throughout your career, you've worked with a mixture of, very well established filmmakers, but then also people like Rod who are sort of kind of newer voices. What is it about, working with these people who are perhaps, only on their first, second, third film that you enjoy so much?
I mean, I feel like I didn't really start out in doing bigger films. I started out for a very long time doing movies with no money, no budget. We didn't get paid. We were all working for free. And there was something about the creative camaraderie on those projects, and how you really feel like everybody is involved, down to the grips, to the gaffers, I mean, everybody's gonna throw in their ideas. And I really liked that, and having worked on they're both great in different ways. But I really love that, when the crew and everybody is really part of it, as well as when it's scaled down to a smaller group of people. I feel like a production can be more efficient, and I like that pace too. So I mean, I like them both, but for completely different reasons.
And I think originally Blood for Dust was supposed to be sort of set in Texas in summer, and it was going to be sort of like a dusty road movie. But then, what's actually on screen is it's Montana, it's snowy, it's kind of winter. What do you think that shift in season and location gives to the film?
I really liked it. I think that was sort of a last minute decision to move to Montana for tax credits, what have you, or financial restraints. But I felt like it really lended a lot to the film, it being in the cold and adding that element to it. And now looking back on it, it's hard to even envision the film like in a sort of dusty New Mexico, atmosphere. Uh, but that was, I think, another attraction to it. Once it was switched to a colder environment or into Montana, it only got me more excited about the project.
Cliff he's a very still character. He's always very, you've got Ricky who's a bit more erratic, but Cliff is always very still, almost like a coiled snake in a way. As an actor, I always think it's probably harder to play the still man. Is that something that you found yourself?
Um, no, I find it very hard to be still, to be honest with you. Um, I tend to fidget a lot. Yeah, no, it's difficult to be still. I felt like, with Cliff's character, that he was constantly processing and constantly thinking, and constantly feeling like he was out of his element, which put him in sort of in a state of shock all the time, but trying to keep a persona of him not being in shock, which led to a certain sense of stillness about him.
And obviously you're starring alongside Kit Harington, a lot of the film is you two together like in a car, in a bar, What was he like to work with as a scene partner?
Ah, geez, Kit was awesome. He was amazing. He really brought such an interesting character to the film, and he was lovely to work with, lovely to be around. I'm, a fan of his, from all through this Game of Thrones and stuff. So he was kind of a huge get for us to get him and to have him come do the film. He was awesome. He was lovely to work with, really fun to be around. He's really funny. And the two of us just had such a great time working together and shooting. He had this, he really like, it was great. He fought for these cowboy boots that he really wanted. And they were awesome boots. And like day 2 or 3, his feet were freezing and it was just socked in ice. And he's like, oh, I think I made a bad decision with these boots, and I kept thinking, geez, he had to have been much colder on Game of Thrones. And he was like, "Oh, it definitely was. Those days we had to shut it down." So, anyways, but he was great. He was so much fun to work with.
I mean, the rest of the cast as well. It's a really nice ensemble. There's Stephen Dorff, there's Josh Lucas. There's so many sort of people that pop in and out. And I think that's kind of again something that has happened a lot through your career. You seem to gravitate towards these big ensemble pieces. What's it like, sort of getting to do a day with this person and then that person? I guess it keeps things fresh in a way.
Oh man, I love working with new actors or just seeing what actors sort of bring. So, but for this one, usually I'm the one coming in for a week or two, and but I was really really happy and excited that these all these actors that I've been watching for so long that would come on to support a film that I'm the lead of. A lot of these guys I've known for a long time and followed their careers. Stephen Dorff, Ethan Suplee, uh, really fascinating careers. And so yeah, it was great to see them coming over and supporting me in a film. So I was very thankful, very grateful.
Because I think I'm right in saying that you didn't come to acting in sort of the traditional way. You didn't go through school. In fact, you'd actually studied cinematography at school. How did you then get into being in front of the camera rather than behind it?
Not to make a long story short, I think I was just fascinated with the actual process of production and the way that films were made. I really scratched my head a lot as a kid, going, "How do they do that?" That curiosity kept with me for so long that coming out to get involved in the entertainment industry or business. I didn't really, I just really wanted to get on set and see how things, I mean, I started out as a background actor. I did that for, I don't know, 6 months, all over commercials and TV shows. And I felt like that experience of just being there on set and watching how things happen. And, it only led to me wanting more. And I don't think no one was really calling me to be a cinematographer. I was getting more calls to be an actor, and so it's that old adage or old slogan that you don't pick the industry picks you.
But do you think like at some point in your career maybe you would step behind the camera again? I know that you've done some producing early in your career. Is producing, directing maybe a direction that you'd like to go into in the future?
Oh, absolutely. I've been looking to direct something for almost a long, long time and had some get close or, some that didn't get financed. But yeah, I mean, I think directing is sort of the overall storyteller. And so, having acted for a really long time, I think the next step would obviously be to start directing. And so that's definitely where my head's at right now.
And you've got, as well as Blood for Dust, you've kind of got quite a busy 2024 in terms of films releasing. I think just last week, the trailer for Speak No Evil launched online and caused, it's caused quite a stir. Were you familiar with the original before you took on this version?
I was. The original, the Danish version of it, or the original version of it, it was so well done. It was so good. I was a bit taken aback why they were going to remake it, until I had read James Watkins' script and everything that he was going to do with it and how it was going to be different. But yeah, the original's a chilling film, and I had the opportunity to see the James Watkins, or the remake one, and it's different. It's very different with similar things to it, but it's really good. I was really happy with it, and I'm really excited for everyone to see it.
Is it still a parent's worst nightmare? Because the anxiety that that film gave me as a parent was ridiculous.
Yeah, I was really when I turned it off, I was really mad, but in a good way, or just really angry in a good way. And I think that James Watkins does a really good job at sort of tying up this remake with a different bow.
Yeah, I mean, I'm intrigued to see it. It did again, though. I was just telling everybody, like, this is why you always have duplicates of the favorite toy. You always have a duplicate of the favorite toy.
That's
Uh,
great.
that's that's my parenting tip to any new parent. What's their favorite toy? Buy more. Buy exactly the same thing. Um, and then obviously you've got Nightbitch at the end of the year. It must be quite nice, given we've had the COVID and then the strikes. It must be nice to be getting back on set and getting to release these films again.
Yeah, I do have a couple films coming out this year. I think that lended itself to a 6 month strike there. That I think there was about one or two movies that were supposed to release last year that they held on to, and so yeah, it does look like I have sort of a bigger year this year, with some releases of some projects. Night Bitch was one that we it was supposed to release last year. I can't wait for everyone to see that as well. I had the opportunity to see that one, and Amy Adams is phenomenal in it. Mari, the filmmaker, she just made such a unique, interesting, completely different film. So I'm really interested to see how the audiences respond to that. But I'm very excited about that one.
And going back to, Blood for Dust, why do you hope that audiences take a chance on this film?
I think it's a crime thriller. I feel like there's um, I love them. I love these sort of Fargo-esque crime sort of novels, or stories. And if you're a fan of those type of films, I feel like this one definitely pushes the limit on it, and gives the audience exactly what they want, but also sort of they can relate to the character of, like I said before, being an average guy, or every man uh, that's fallen on desperate hard times. You know what I mean? I feel like it's very poignant for where we are right now, and with the way things are right now. So I feel like there's uh, a lot that you can relate to in watching the film.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I wish you best of luck with the release. I'm sure it's going to do great.
Awesome. Thank you, Kat.